Morning, fellas. I am on YouTube and FB, guys. If you want to get on over to my YT channel and my FB channel, I'm streaming live from both of those. Somebody let me know if you hear me, if I'm coming in loud and clear. I would appreciate it. And we have Matthew in the chat over on the other channel. He's getting ready to fund us all a big old position. Thank you, some dude over here in YT and FB. YT, FB, someone come on over to my YT channel. Let me know if we're good. I'm gonna eat me a little bit of oatmeal. Thank you very much. Someone moved over to my YT. Thank you very much for that. Got a good sound check on the YT. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just want to know if it sounds good. I know it don't look good because I'm on here. Thank you. Good morning, Judy. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My YT channel is the same as it is on TT. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Guys, this show don't work unless you, supply the comments and the questions. I'm an attorney. I am a substance use and addiction counselor. Over on one of the other channels, we're just talking about addiction when it comes to family. There's a lady in one of the chats There's a lady on one of the chats that has been taking care of her grandbabies for a long while. Well, her daughter has been clean for a year, 1 year, got a job and everything. You know how many times I hear that? I have been in the substance use and addiction area for almost 40 years now. Almost 40 years. Makes me look old, sound old. So what I do know is that 1 year, if that person has been in addiction for a long time, 1 year barely scratches the surface. So now this grandmother wants to give those children back to her daughter, wants to give them back to her daughter, and I'm not real sure if that's a good idea. 1 year. Thank you, Sue. So I'm not sure that 1 year is the best. I just I just don't think 1 year is good, unless there's some kind of restriction. So now, apparently, this grandmother has been given the children got full custody, she says. So full custody. She has complete control over those babies. Now, what I might do is give a little test run, 2 weeks, maybe a weekend, start with a few weekends, let them go over to her mother's for a couple of weekends, because if she's just been sober for a year, she's got a whole lot of stuff to do, a whole lot of work to do. 1 year does not erase all the other years of abuse. It just doesn't. So, I'm not real sure that I would full on dump those kids off on her right now. I might do a test run. I might start out with a couple of, I might start out with some weekend visits start out with some weekend visits and then move to um and then move into a week at a time. So that way then that w I might do a weekend. Sorry, I'm getting some other chatter in my ears. Guys, I'm visually impaired, so the comments come through my headphones. So I might do a weekend. I'm repeating myself, I know, but just so you know, I might do a weekend and then edge into uh edge into the, um, um, every week, but I certainly wouldn't do anything in writing. I just wouldn't. So, sorry if that makes somebody mad, but can't help it. Guys, FB, mm-mm. For those of you trying to help me clear up, apparently I have an audio issue, but I have unplugged my iPad. I don't have anything plugged into my iPad. Nothing plugged into my iPad. 0. It's running naked. It's something else then, it's not in my equipment, it's something else out here. It's not in my equipment. I just unplugged my iPad. There's nothing going to my iPad, nothing. It's not coming through the YT or the FB, so I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Elizabeth, Elizabeth, what I'm saying to you is that there's nothing plugged into the iPad. Nothing. 0. Nothing. There's nothing in the iPad. Stop. There's nothing plugged into my iPad. It's not the iPad. Holy God. Yeah, they're probably not gonna turn custody back over. What's up, Tammy Joe? Yeah, judge is probably not gonna let him do that. Good job on the gabapentin. Good job. Someone in the chat said they officially got off gabapentin. It's hard. Gabapentin is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Civil court judgment. There's nothing plugged into the iPad. There is nothing plugged into the iPad. No, it ain't got there is no mic plugged in. There's nothing. There is little when I say there's nothing plugged into the iPad, there is nothing for there to be any kind of an interruption. There's nothing unless it's just picking up something from everything around here. There is no mic plugged in it. I understand that, but that's when I had shit plugged in. There is nothing plugged in. I even took off the mic. So I don't know. It just must be something out in the air. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I've unplugged everything. So, if you have a collection issue and you've no, there's nothing plugged into this iPad. Nothing. I took everything off of it. Alright, love you, baby. So, if you've got a big collection issue, a big old collection issue, now that I know it's probably I don't know what it is, I'm gonna plug my stuff back up. If you've got a big collection issue, first off, I'd wonder why you're letting people get into you for so much money. That's the first thing I would analyze. If it's your business, you've got to wonder why you're letting people get into you for so much debt. I think that's a bad idea. So I think if it was me and I was you, instead of forcing on the collection, I might focus instead of focusing on the collection, I might focus on the reason why you have people that owe you money. I think that's a bigger problem for you other than someone trying to collect your debt. If you clean up the issue why people owe you money, then you won't have to worry about collecting money. That just makes sense to me. Someone in the chat is telling me, I don't know if Michelle's still in here or not. Guys, ask a question. This is your show, fellas. You gotta ask questions. I'll make me some raisins and oatmeal. I'm gonna call my chiropractor friend here in a minute. Mm, oatmeal is good. Uh, someone wants to someone asked me what's my thoughts on the files being released, the UFO files. Listen, well, they're first off, they're calling them UFPs now for some reason. They changed the name to instead of UFOs, it's a UFP, whatever the hell that means. Um, I don't believe that there's little green men from Mars. I believe we're the only intelligent life in the whole solar system in the universe. I believe that. Maybe it's because my brain's too little and I don't wanna have to sit and study on if there's other people. I don't think there are. I think if there were other real, intelligent beings in the universe, we would have already known it. We have seen them. I think they would have came down here and made all kinds of fun of us. I think they'd be talking about us. We would know if there were other intelligent beings. I just don't believe they are. And so those UFOs, the release of all those files, it's just something to get everybody talking about. It's like everything else. It's about those Epstein files and all that. That could have been done a long time ago. All the release of all that information, JFK, Martin Luther King, Epstein, UFOs, all that could have been done a long time ago. So no matter how much gets released, people are gonna say it's not enough or you're hiding something. That's the problem with when you hide stuff, when you try to be secretive, then what's up, Birdman in the chat? People think that there's not ever enough, that there's always a government conspiracy out there. So at this point right now, the release of all that stuff is not ever gonna be enough for some people. The people that believe there are intelligent life out there are not ever gonna think that we've done enough to release everything. The people that don't believe it don't care. I don't care. It's just I don't even wanna waste 30 seconds on the UFO thing. I just don't. Um, do I believe they're UFOs? Yeah, I do believe that people conduct experiments and we don't know anything about. I think they're logical explanations. But yeah, it is someone in the chat said it's irrelevant. That's a good word. It is irrelevant. All of that stuff, it's a shiny object. It's just shiny. It's another diversion. It's like Janet Guthrie. It's like all that other crap. Or whatever her name is. I probably screwed up her name. Why do I care about intelligent life on another planet? I don't care. So it's just like every other secret that our government has had. A president, any president could have done that. Any president. Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, George Bush's daddy, anybody. Richard Nixon could have done all that, except for the Epstein files. Um, I've got bacon, Kelby. I haven't eaten it yet. So it's foolishness. Foolishness. I do get pre-cooked bacon. I'm cutting an egg. I'm busting an egg right now. So all of that stuff, I just don't.
My local fire department just recently received a 275,000 endowment. What is an endowment?
An endowment? Thank you for on Facebook. Someone said locally their fire department received a huge endowment. An endowment is a gift. It's just a gift from somebody. Probably if it's a 270,000 endowment, somebody with a lot of money. It's just a gift. It's not a grant. It's just somebody gave them some money. You know, God bless them. That's what should happen. I prosecute. Someone wants to know if I've done prosecutor work. I prosecuted for about 16 years. Yeah. I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Sue Wallace Bride, thank you.
You're welcome, Sue. Sue and Facebook with the question. Thank you, Sue. That's a big lot of money for a fire department to have. Um, no, someone in the chat, someone in the chat said that what do I think about the Tanner Horner thing and they're letting him live for 11 years. Well, they're not letting him live. He gets a process, the constitutional process. His appeal process is not going to last as long as it normally does because the issue on appeal is not going to be his guilt. He pled guilty. The issue appeal is whether or not the rest of the process was carried out. And that's the process. That is the process. There are people on death row doing the same thing, waiting out the process. I don't have a problem with the process. I don't have a problem with it. I do think, and I've said this before, and I'll say it here one more time. I do think people on death row ought to be able to choose whether or not they want to be there or not. I think they should be able to choose to end it or continue on. Um, so somehow that somehow what's up, Tracy? Somehow that seems to make people mad when I say that. I don't know why. Someone's asking me about Luigi. I think Luigi needs to go away. What he did was despicable. We cannot allow it doesn't matter. Pay for them to sit in jail, so they're in jail. They're not out walking around. If you've ever been to jail, you'd know it's not gonna be. No, that dude will not sleep in peace, I promise you. Anybody that thinks that has no idea what prison's like. They have no idea. You need to visit one and see. What's up, Kerrigan? If you think that, you have 0 idea what it's about. Zero idea. Now he has to run from the butt pirates. You know, he's gonna be he's gonna be running from the butt pirates, sorry. Yeah, well, that's our process. God bless it. It's the best process in the world. Under our Constitution, it's a good process. I don't know why everybody gets all angry about it. I really don't. I know a little bit about that McKinney case. Uh, that McKinney that McKinney case in Floyd County is a tough one. The police officers screwed that one up from the beginning, and there probably was some type of political inside treatment going on in that case, some preferential treatment. The police screwed that case up from the very beginning, and so we'll never know the truth about that poor lady that lost her life. We're never going to know the full truth about it. What's up, Happy Hillbilly? How are you today? Guys, I am an attorney, believe it or not. If you have an automobile accident, guys, I only get 20%. So let's do that. If you know anybody that has a wreck and it wasn't their fault, and if there's insurance out there, I only get 20%. That's it. Just 20. You won't find any other lawyer that does what I do. Um, I'm also working with the Markland individuals that have been diagnosed with asbestos related cancer or silicosis, two big issues. Asbestos related cancer, silicosis. Mark Lanier is the best trial lawyer in the country. He's the absolute goat when it comes to asbestos litigation. Most lawyers in automobile accidents, someone wants to know, most lawyers in automobile accident in nowadays, in these times, are getting around 40% at least. Most lawyers used to be a 33 and a third kind of equation. Now it's a 40% equation now. A divorce, someone wants to know how much a divorce costs. Listen, divorces depend on where you live and how complicated it is. You can have a no fault divorce where everybody's in agreement on everything. Might not cost you more than a couple $1,000. I do agreed divorces in Kentucky, and they don't do them in West Virginia. In Kentucky, I do an agreed divorce for $800.
I enjoy your program.
Thank you. We have someone in a Miss Weigel, Leslie Weigel. Thank you for, I think it says Weigel, if my vision is right. You are looking at me on FB. Thank you very much for that. Tell your friends. 400,000. I don't know who your lawyers were, but those cases are getting a lot more than that. A lot more. Look at Mark Lanier's page and you'll see. Go ahead and look at his page. Drop him a note and tell him I said hi, that you heard about him from me, and look at his page. It's eye popping. And not only has he gotten money for people who've been directly exposed, but he's been able to get a recovery from for individuals who were secondarily exposed, like a child of someone that was exposed or a wife of someone that was exposed. Usually, people that clean their clothes and do all of that are inhaling some of that dust and residue. So, if you've been in the family of someone who was exposed, you could get a recovery. Oh, you're from Jane's office, Leslie. Oh no. Oh, and I thought that was you. I did not, Leslie. I did not want to presume that it was you, but by golly, in the chat over here in FB, she helped me when I first started getting into law practice. She was working for Miss Jane Moran, and I have said this not because you're in the chat, Leslie, but and you know this because you worked with her. One of the toughest attorneys I have ever seen. I worked with this lady, her name was Jane Moran, and she worked in Williamson. She was a true hippie, and she carried that mentality with her into her law practice. She never refused to help anybody that she could help. Just a wonderful lady. I worked with Jane the first year I was out of law school. She gave me an office and she was very fair. She paid me a small base salary and allowed me to get a portion of everything I brought in. Leslie was one of her assistants, Leslie and Donna. And Leslie, you probably already know Donna works with me now. So I love those days back there. And Jane was a tough old bird. Now, boy, she had a lot of respect among the local bar. I mean, she was a true. I say about her all the time. She was a true hippie, um, and I appreciated her for it. She just had an unbelievable desire to help the unfortunate. Very, very nice lady, and she was tough. Now you wanna cross her because she could get all in your shit. Um, so I much respect for Jane. And Leslie, I hope you're doing well, but she's in the chat. I thought that was you. When I saw the name, I just didn't want to, presume that I knew people. Sometimes people don't want to be recognized. Annulments, just like it never even happened. Someone wants to know how an annulment works. It's like Surf Pro, just like it never even happened. You have to meet certain criteria. Generally, I think if you look under the Bible, it's a loveless marriage, basically. Some states say you are eligible for an annulment if you never consummated your marriage, and you all know what that means. Little bit of love time, you know? If you are in a marriage and you never had a little bit of love time, I think you're eligible for an annulment. But there's other criteria. Different states do it different. Sasha, she was a wonderful lady. She was tough and it was painful to see her. She had very bad arthritis. It was painful to see her at the end of her days. I've seen her a couple of times, and she was a tiny woman to begin with, but she was crippled over with a lot of arthritis and osteoporosis and things like that. And she was tough, boy. I remember the first time I a job for her or with her. She said, "I need you to go to court for me." I mean, I was brand new out of law school, brand new. And she explained to me what the case was about. She handed me the file. And I know she probably looked at me like because I was a little bit like, I don't know what the hell to do. And I told her, I said, well, what do I do? She said, Just go in there early and sit down. You're smart enough, you'll figure it out. And so I went to court and got there early and I watched what everybody else did and I read the file and it worked out. She liked the fact when she interviewed me, she wanted to know about my background, and I had told her at that time that I had, you know, I I am, I told her that I had, danced ballet and I was a small actor in some plays. I told her I liked baseball. I told her everything about me. I wanted to know who I was. Told her I was a cheerleader. She got the biggest kick out of the fact, and I've heard her say it, that this boy from Appalachia, this hillbilly, was in ballet. And I think that she appreciated that I appreciated that, area. And it was certainly not stereotypical. And I heard her comment on that. And I think she liked the fact that I did things like that and didn't really care what it looked like. Wonderful lady, though. But I danced. I took classical ballet dance classes for about 8 years, and I was a cheerleader for about. I was a cheerleader for a year. I did that mostly though for the ladies and the beer. You know, that's before I was married. I've done a lot. A prenup, a prenup, a prenup just organizes your stuff whenever you get ready to have a divorce. It's contemplating a divorce before you have one. I think it's a good idea. If both parties come into the marriage with a certain amount of stuff and you want to keep, there's nothing wrong with putting that down on paper so that everybody knows the score. I don't think it's a bad, it's a tough conversation to have, but if you have enough money to where you need a prenup, that culture that you're raised in already understands that. So I don't think it's particularly offensive. Um, and a prenup is going to be judged, and a prenup is going to be judged at the time it was written. If it seems to be really unfair, and if one person has a lot more than the other, and if there's a little more influence or power and authority from one side or another, the judge is going to look at that a little tougher. Now, a postnup is just like a damn divorce. If you're already married and you want to draw up papers and divide your stuff after about 15 years, I suppose that's okay. But that would be a tougher conversation to have. You've been married to someone 15 years and you just pop up on them and say, you know what? I was thinking, I saw this show on Oprah and they were talking about post nups. I think honey, we ought to go out and sit down and have a post nup. I just think that's a tough conversation to have if you've already been married for a while, because the assumption is if you've been married, you share. And in a divorce, you're going to share. And to do something other in a postnup, to me, seems to be that would be an awkward conversation to have. But there's nothing inherently wrong with them. Well, Kelby, you should have thought about that when you got married. Someone in the chat says they don't want to share their assets. Well, you should have thought about that before you got married. I'm not saying you can't do a postnup, Shelby. But what I am saying is that that conversation is a little more difficult to have. And if they don't want to sign it, they don't have to sign it. I just go ahead and divorce their sorry ass, if that's what your thinking is. Just divorce them. They're gonna get a piece of it anyway. Because if that's your attitude, they ain't signing nothing you put in front of them. What makes you think they're gonna sign it? They're gonna look at you a little side-eyed. They're gonna be like, "What?" I don't know, Kelby. You call it a partner. If you're married, it's different. If you're not married, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're worried about. If it's a husband, a wife, if you're married, it changes the equation, baby. That's a complicated situation. You can't just be married for 15 years and then all of a sudden throw that on somebody and expect them to like it. They ain't going to like it. They're going to think something's wrong. They're going to think you're trying to screw them again. Kelby, it's awkward. It's just an awkward conversation, Kelby. Kelby, it doesn't matter what it makes you sound. Why are you worried about what Kelby wants to know if it makes her sound greedy? Why are you worried about what other people think? Why are you worried about what it makes you look like? That'd be the last thing I'd think about if that's something I wanted to do. I wouldn't give a shit what everybody else thought about it. It ain't none nobody else's business. Why are you worried about what other people think? That's crazy. Hopefully you're old enough where that don't matter. Oh, is that hearing? Is it on Facebook, Anna? I would like to get it. What's the hearing? Do you know, Anna, what the hearing? There's Amber Spradlin, there's a hearing apparently. So what, Kelby? They're gonna make up stuff on you. Why does that matter? Oh, I bet the judge gives them time I bet the judge gives them more time. I was gonna try to find it on my Facebook, but I'm not going to. I'll just leave it alone. Yeah, but I think he does now. Is it already on? If you can send me a link, I'll watch it. Send me a link, Bob. Send me a link, baby. We'll watch it. Yeah, for those of y'all don't know, Amber Spradlin was this unfortunate lady that got involved with these fellas over in Prestonsburg. There was a dentist, and then there was a restaurateur, a local person that run a restaurant. Apparently, there was a bunch of people all liquored up, and she got in the way, and she got in the way and lost her life. Apparently, she's seen some things she shouldn't have seen. Thanks, Bob. Now, if I could get the sound on it, we'd be cooking with bottle gas. Guys, my name is Eugene. I am an attorney. Kelby? Hold on a second, Kelby. Um, Kelby, that's a conversation you probably should have had. Well, hell yeah, it'll cause Kelby, what world are you living in, baby? Yeah, it's gonna cause issues. Be prepared to leave. Are you married? It doesn't sound like you're married because you keep referring to this person as partner. Anna, I'm not getting any I don't have any sound on mine. Is there sound coming through on it now or no? I like the comments. Well, Kelby, if you had land before you were married and it's in your name and you all haven't commingled it, if you haven't refinanced it, it's still yours. Oh, you're probably worrying over nothing. If you want to book a call, I'll look at your stuff and do some research and try to help you figure it out. Guys, if you really have an issue, you can book a call through my profile. I have a link, and there's a link for my merchandise. You see a couple of my shirts up here. Um, I've got a shirt here. I've got shirts. I've got a mug. You see my mug there. Um, got a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to see if hey, Anna, if you're still on here, is there any audio on this or no? 17. Thank you. Just got a shout out from YT. I appreciate you. Where is Anna? Are you still in here, Anna? Is there is there audio on here now, Anna? Because I'm not getting any audio. What's up, K Rob? I'm trying to watch this Amber Spradlin thing. When are you supposed to see? Okay. Kelby, go to my profile and click on the link. You'll see the paper clip. It's called Pin Site. Guys, and you can get my new newsletter. I have a newsletter here. It's free. Should be dropping another edition here soon. Merchandise. You can book a call. There's a lot of people on that feed, Anna. A lot. A lot. Um, when you supposed to talk to him, K Rob? Carly, you're not muted. You're not muted, Carly. Okay, so you're not talking to Jeff. I can't go to court for you, Kelby, but I can tell you what you need to do. You're asking all these questions that you don't know answers to. I can give you answers to your questions, but I can't represent you. I can help you figure it out. What I do here is providing people with information that they ain't gonna get nowhere else. So, Kelby, you're on here asking a lot of questions, but if you book a call, I'll be able to research a little better and try to help you figure out what direction you need to go in. And that's what I do. Oh, this is kind of cool. Watching if you if you are a super fan on my TT page, if you're a super fan for 3 months, you can have access to all my books. I'll give you a link. I'll give you the copy of all of my books, but you've got to be a subscriber for at least 3 months. If you're brand new, subscribe to that channel. If you're a super fan, now it's a super fan subscription. It costs $9 a month. And if you like my content, that's a way to do. Or you can look at my merchandise. I got a couple shirts hanging up, my mugs, everything. So, you know, there's a lot of ways you can support me. And if you like other creators, I would encourage you, if you really like a creator, try to find a way to support them.
All rise. Voice now back in session. Thanks, baby.
This is the Amber Spradlin hearing.
Well, let's cut to the chase. The lay person, I think it's credible. Schooling. I really want to go to trial on somebody. Either all three of you or one of you. I want to go to trial. But the way everybody talks, I think it'd be in the best interest of justice for me to continue the case. And I believe the last some, we have, I think June 18th is third anniversary of this event. I think August 14th will be a 2-year anniversary. One way, it's a terribly long form murder case. Another way, I could get it done. So I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you. So we have got Mayo City here trying to figure out if we can put a third table, sort of awkward courtroom. I do have a murder case on August 31st. It's older than this case. It has to go. So this is the third. I think I've got another murder case in September. I'm not sure that one. No.
I told you he's going to continue it.
I think that's like
Everybody was wanting a continuance, it looks like. And he was going to do it. I told you that. Because if he hadn't have continued it, there would have been appeals. Someone would have filed an appeal.
Your Honor, well, I could just
testify to this, but I did confer with him a moment ago again, and he said that he thought all sides would need 2-3 months to digest everything once it's finally returned and released. And I think that would put us more on that basis than just schedule-wise, maybe till January. But I don't know what.
He ain't doing January.
Your Honor, as a practical matter, I don't think we can probably set it before the first of next year.
Oh no.
Trying to get a
They're
month
trying to tell the. I mean, they've had 2 effing years.
And while I appreciate Mr. McCann's optimism, we've heard that before, and I do agree that with the StarMed stuff, it's probably going to take my experts more time to get through it and be ready. And what I don't want to do, Judge, is what has occurred already. Is we get a trial date and then for whatever reason we're not ready. And I sure don't want it to be my objection because my experts aren't ready. I would say we, out of abundance of caution, go farther and we go come hell or high water, excuse my language, on that day. And that's just, for whatever that's worth, Judge, that's kind of our position. We would like to revisit bond, but that regarding scheduling, Judge, I think we're asking just kind of to get the same mix if we try to do it in the fall. We're going to bump into possibly the same problems we're having now.
Judge, I intend to move whatever I need to move to accommodate the court, so.
I would ask that we either wait to schedule it once we have a more clear idea of testing or schedule it for beginning of the year.
So schedule for January the 4th.
We go a week later than that. From experience.
Oh no.
Right after the holiday break, there's a whole lot of logistics things that have to be done.
Are you shitting me? If I was that judge, I'd be mad.
It's so hard to reach anyone. The week between Christmas.
If I was a judge, I would tell that lawyer to kiss my ass. They already pushed him into January. Now they want to go a week later.
I have figured wood and iron would take 2 days.
God almighty.
It would be in your time frame. We still have.
Wham, wham, wham.
Wood here because this is obviously a well-publicized case. It'll probably take 2 days.
Judge, I was going to, while I'm thinking about it, follow up on the time limitations. Obviously, my voir dire is usually can take as long as 15 minutes if the jury doesn't respond, or can take longer the more they talk. And so that's what, obviously, depending on how much feedback we're getting from the jury, I would hate to cut them off while they're being forthcoming, especially in a case like this during voir dire. But yeah, I don't disagree with the court. I think it'll take a long time.
They weren't found guilty.
I mean, it would help a little bit. I mean, I guess I'm just surprised. Is that what you all want? You want to spend New Year's trying to talk to witnesses? I mean, that.
January the 11th then?
That doesn't work out for us, guys.
January 11th.
Do a pre-trial. Like in September. September 17th at 2, is it okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Just
Then we'll probably have other That's on Thursday.
So they just moved it to January the 11th,
Yes.
and they're going to have a couple of pre-trials in September. A pre-trial conference is used to kind of sort things out before trial.
I didn't see any motions about that.
Judge, the only motion, we had filed two, one regarding disclosure, if there's been a agreement with Roy Kidd to testify. They filed a response, but if the Commonwealth could file a notice with court that there's no deal with him to not charge him in exchange for testifying, then that would cover that.
I read the response.
Yes.
Isn't that what it says in there? I mean,
It doesn't actually say that. If there's no deal with him in exchange for not testifying, then that's, to put that on the record.
I think
yeah, there's no deal arrangement with Mr. Kidd about testimony. No one from our office has ever even spoke with him. He's been interviewed by the police several times. And I think that Vince had mentioned something about that he had an attorney and he wasn't willing to talk to them, but I think that's more a function of he's not inclined to talk to the people that are trying to frame him for a murder he committed.
He asserted his fifth with the police, and that's the reason I was asked that is if he has subsequently waived his Fifth Amendment right with the Commonwealth, that would be relevant because it was with the police that he terminated his interview and asserted his Fifth Amendment right. So if something has caused him to change that, then
I guess we'll find out.
we will judge, and that's what we're asking.
The defense is entitled to the contents of any agreement that's been made.
Absolutely, and there is no agreement.
I think
I can say that on the record.
I was a little curious if there was a term about before the trial starts or something.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Judge, the motion in limine I filed, and I just wanted to make sure I filed it if we're starting tomorrow. The Commonwealth replied they'll follow the rules of evidence. That is one of the things about this trial being continued. They have filed no 404B notice to this point in time. So that would be, that timeline is passed. They can't now try to cure those things because I gave them notice based on this hearing that you haven't filed a 404B notice.
I don't agree with that, Judge. I think when we have a trial date, I think all pertinent motions, all pertinent notices, including 404B, are open to be addressed. I've never heard of anyone trying to say.
Well, and Judge, again, that would be one of the reasons we had a trial date and it was today and they never filed any notice. So they shouldn't get the benefit of coming in and saying, we're not ready for trial. We're going to correct these after I put them on notice of it. That's fine, Judge.
Judge, I wish to try the court's patience. I've previously filed a motion or requested that the court consider removing my client from pretrial monitoring and drug testing as he's had no violations this almost 2 years now into this case. I did not file another or a written motion today because of the pending trial that I was preparing for. I'd be happy to file that motion, but I would ask the court to maybe reconsider that based on the circumstances that have developed today.
That was going to be my motion as well. If the court would rather file a written formal motion, that would be.
This lady's stupid.
I'll file a written motion, Judge.
You want to file a written response? You want me to set for a hearing on agenda?
I think, Judge, and I don't know, I would need to see what, I understand the request.
They're asking that the people that they have be released from any kind of terms and conditions like drug testing or monitoring.
Yeah, haven't got to speak with Mr. Roman.
If I was a judge, I wouldn't do it.
On modifications they would be asking for. We certainly would be opposed to releasing defendant MK from home incarceration if there's some other financial modifications necessary. I don't know. But as to the two Class D tampering defendants, frankly, Judge, I feel like, in light of where we are and the request and the, I guess, accommodation.
If Anna wants to, guys, we'll have Anna come up and tell you all, give you a little bit of backstory about this. Anna's been following this a long time. I kind of been following it, but Anna knows it a little more than I do. And hang around, and we'll get Anna on the phone, and she'll tell us about this after this hearing is over. She'll give you some backstory.
I would suggest that you talk to the Commonwealth, and if you don't come up with an arrangement, then you file a motion, and I'll either set for a hearing, rule on it. I don't put too many people on home incarceration, especially Class B felons, because they're accruing time for their own home incarceration. They just say it exactly that way. But,
Yeah, she is on TV, but it doesn't matter. She's on TV. I've been on TV before. That don't make you smart.
we'll take it up. So talk to the Commonwealth.
Sorry.
And see what you got on that. But
You don't have to be smart to be on
let's just
TV.
see what you got. If you can't work it out, file a motion. And then
I just find a lot of them lawyers, well,
could be
yeah, anybody can be on TV. What's up, Rachel?
Okay. Anything else? Well, thank you all. I was planning on being with you.
And really, she's not on TV. She's on local cable access, which is a step below TV, if you want to be honest about it. What's up, Alexandra? Yeah, we're going to submit that grant tomorrow. Anna's still in Lexington. Anna, are you still on? Hey, Bob. You still on here? Give me a call, Anna, and then you call me on my phone. That way everybody can hear. Or come on my TikTok and we'll talk about that. Come on. Happy. Come on, Anna. I'll get you on the TikTok here. Are you on here, Bob? Are you on here, Bob?
Yep.
All right, guys. So we just watched this, Amber. If you're looking in on me on YT, TT, or FB, Judge just made a ruling. This case. So give them the skinny on this trial, on this case, Anna, if you don't care.
I mean, I guess I followed it more than you have, but it's still kind of loosely just because it happened.
It's dragged out.
Yeah, it happened in June, will make 3 years. They didn't get an indictment for like the indictment was like a year and 2 months later or something. But this lady was an employee of the fellow who he's a local dentist. Well, not local to Pikeville, but
This happened in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. You can look at it on a map. It's about 20 miles from where we sit right here.
He is he's a dentist, and he also owns a local restaurant to Prestonsburg. She was a server for his restaurant. And I guess after shift, a bunch of those people went to.
You say those people, say their names, because they're already in court, so it don't matter.
There was more people than just the three. It was the owner, Dr. McKinney, his son, M.K. McKinney, and then a boy that was MK's friend, Josh, who was also living in the house.
Well, now, so the judge mentioned at this hearing that there were two people that they were charged with tampering with evidence.
Yes.
One of those was the daddy McKinney.
Yeah, Dr. McKinney
and
then
one of
Josh.
his flunkies, a kind of a do boy.
Well, yeah, he is his son's age. He kind of took in this boy. Like,
Yeah,
I think he has a hard knock story.
but he did a lot of stuff for the
Yeah,
for the restaurant and the
Yeah,
dentist.
he cares for the boy. He let the boy move in. Whatever.
Yeah.
They all go to this bar called the Four Seasons. It's inside a hotel.
Which
And I
hotel?
think-
Which hotel is that inside?
I don't know, but I've heard of the Four Seasons.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think Dr. McKinney's brother-in-law or brother owns it. I don't know.
So, just a little backstory. There's a whole lot of political connections and people that know people, and just like it is in
Yeah.
any really small town, the political structure. And I'm going to editorialize just a second. The problem with like a really small town, and you've seen the same thing over there in Letcher County with Judge Mullins and Sheriff Steins. In any small town, the problem with small town, I love small towns, but the problem with a small town is you have a small group of people that control all the power levers. And in a big city, you don't have that. There's still political problems, but the power isn't consolidated the way it is in a small town. And when it's consolidated, everybody knows everybody, and they can literally, a lot of times, these playmakers in these small towns can literally put their foot on your neck, and it makes it tougher when you're in a small town and the power and the influence is consolidated. I think it makes it rough. So you have that situation in Prestonsburg where you've got a dentist who was connected, owner of a couple of establishments. And so go ahead, Anna. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that out for people that don't know.
But drinks, whatever. So Roy Kidd was also with them.
That's what I was wondering. Is he the trooper?
No, he works at ARH.
Kidd was a trooper that was involved with my accident. So I didn't know if that was him or not.
Roy Kidd, he's like a radiology tech or something. I don't know. He works at ARH.
And that's a big family name in Floyd County. Kids is a big family.
He hangs around the McKinneys, I guess. Like, I think loosely. Like, I don't think he's best buddies with him. But he was.
Is he kind of a hanger on, getting free meals and drinks?
I don't know. From what I heard, he, hangs around with them, but also he was kind of friends with Amber. So
okay,
it was because of him that she went out with all them. He kind of extended the invite to her. So they all go. I think it was Josh, Dr. McKinney, his son, like MK, Roy, Amber, and then I think Josh's girlfriend. Josh's girlfriend isn't mentioned because I think she's cooperating. Like, I don't think there was any issue with her.
So Dr. McKinney went to the party too?
Yes.
What a sad man.
Well, then the party goes from Four Seasons back to his home.
Who's his?
Dr. McKinney.
Okay.
Where also MK resides and Josh resides.
MK is the son.
Yeah, because his name's also Michael.
Okay.
McKinney. All three of the defendants reside in one home, which is Dr. McKinney's house.
And he's not married? Dr. McKinney not married?
He's divorced.
Okay.
But they all go back to their house, back to Doctor's house, to continue having an after party or whatever.
That's what we'll call it. It's after party. That's a euphemism.
Yeah. But
God. Oh, a poor girl.
They all go to bed, whatever. Supposedly, Roy was really, really intoxicated. I think there's been some shares of like a 911 transcription saying that 911 was called first. There was someone unruly and they needed help to like get him off their property. Well, then 911 was called back like 2 minutes later saying, never mind, don't send anyone out. 911 followed those rules instead of dispatching like they should have been.
But now let's look at 911, how the relationship is to that dentist and all of that. There's some relations there, right?
Right. So they had said like they took that dude's word. Don't worry, we got it under control.
Yeah.
When
You
they
call-
should have sent.
Sorry.
Yeah, they should have sent someone out.
No emergency now.
Yeah. So
Oh God.
they didn't send anyone out. And then Roy apparently wakes up somewhere. I think they say like 9 o'clock, maybe 9 a.m. And he admits to is defecation like where you use the bathroom on yourself.
Yeah, he shit all over the place.
He peed, he pooped himself.
Like why would you was he admitted to that? Like I don't understand how that comes in.
I guess he admitted to that because he really does not like he had went to bed.
Oh.
And that's all that he had remembered. Like he went to bed, he woke up and he was in that kind of state.
Oh my God.
And
you gotta be bad if you're shitting on yourself.
His testimony is he went downstairs, I guess to look for his phone maybe, and he didn't fully look into the room where they were all in. Like he kind of glances.
I hope he showered and changed the sheets first.
And he sees that she was kind of like he said that she appeared to still be sleeping.
So his testimony is that he actually saw her.
Yes. And he goes over to her. And I guess he sees the presence of blood.
Okay.
And I think he went to go look for a pulse. He goes to Dr. McKinney's door, which is just right down the hall. Knocks on it. He's alert. He says, yes, what's going on? He said, you need to call 911. I think Amber is unalived.
Yeah, not breathing.
He doesn't even take a step out of his door. And Roy hears on the other side, yeah, I think this lady's been stabbed.
Oh, so he's dropping a dime on he's telling that Dr. McKinney said that through a closed door. He heard it.
Yes. And
who was he talking to?
So his phone logs show that he calls the chief of police first before he calls 911.
Okay. And which he's a doctor, blah, blah, blah. Halo effect, probably know each other real well.
Yeah. He called the chief of police. I think their phone call lasted like 3 minutes.
Damn.
Then he calls.
It's a long time to call and tell somebody someone's been passed away in your house.
And then he calls back the chief of police. Chief of police resigns a week later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it was a week.
I'm sure they've taken his deposition. I would say they've taken his deposition or they're going to call him as a witness.
Yeah. I'm not sure. That guy.
They all got sued civilly, didn't they? There was like 10,000 people. I don't think anybody in the city of Prestonsburg got away without being sued.
The chief of police, the mayor, the police department,
911.
911. I think a lot of the commissioners, like everybody in that city, has been called in a civil suit.
Yeah.
But, they get there, take everyone's testimony. But when they looked at Amber, like Roy, I guess from his medical knowledge, he was thinking like,
what's he, a radiologist?
Yeah.
I'm a doctor. Please.
But
I know how to do this. Leave me alone.
He was thinking like maybe an embolism or something. But because, he didn't lift her head. Her throat area was completely sliced.
Oh, not good. So it was intentional. It wasn't
Yeah.
oopsie daisy.
Multiple defense wounds.
Okay. So it was a wicked attack.
Yeah. And I think part of the utensil used was also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
there-
rumor.
There's rumors saying that she saw or heard something.
Well, let's go ahead and put it out there. The rumor is that she saw the two men engaged in some lovey time, and that of course couldn't. Yeah, she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So she caught these two people engaged in some loving time, and of course, if you're a prominent person, and you can't let that get out, and that's the rumor. We don't
Yeah.
know. And was it the younger McKinney, the one that was supposed to have done the deed?
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are saying that he always had obviously he has no prior charges on him, but he would always, rumor is he would mutilate animals.
Well, Jeffrey Dahmer. That's how he got his start.
Yeah,
Little
but people are
cats and
saying that
stuff.
he mutilated animals and just
Yeah.
kind of an unstable person.
Yeah.
But his parents had the money.
They
and
had
people-
wealth and influence, had the halo effect, and you see
Yeah.
that a lot. Well, I mean, if we look at, and I know they're not related, but they are in a way. If you look at the Reiner case, of course, which you haven't seen much of or haven't heard much of, he was an unstable guy, and everybody covered for him because of who his daddy was. And it happens whether you're really rich or whether you're wealthy in a community or what. It happens. You get that halo effect, and oh, that's just so and so's son. He's a little nutty, but he'll be okay. So there's that.
But so it took a year and 2 months to get the.
Didn't they find her in I thought they found her in a ditch.
No, she was in the home.
Okay. Well, who am I confusing her with? I was thinking she was in a ditch.
Crystal Rogers, maybe, because she was, I think,
Oh yeah.
from
Yeah.
around that
Another one.
area.
And it's really weird in our area, in this little area that we're talking about in Eastern Kentucky. You've got a county, Letcher County, where the judge was unalived by the sheriff. You have this case in Floyd County, which we're talking about, the Spradlin case, and you also had, which was hidden back underneath the Kyle Deskins, who was a former prosecutor. All of these cases, every one of them, had shitty police work. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Even the case in Letcher County, the police officer that investigated that case in Letcher County didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. You got that dude in Kyle Deskin's case, and I know Kyle personally, know him very well. Worked on him. He and I worked together on cases. We filed bankruptcies together, and I know Kyle. I considered hiring his wife once years ago, but he was accused of doing away with his wife, savagely beating her. Now he pled guilty to tampering with evidence because the police, as soon as they came in that door, so totally screwed up that crime scene. They automatically believed that she had overdosed. And so they came in the threshold of that door believing that, and Anna and I sat and watched this trial all the way through. It's amazing how bad police work that was. And you see the same thing. And this happens every day. If you look at that John Benet Ramsey case way back in the Wayback Machine, bad police officers, you had influential people who had the halo effect on them. And so anytime you have that, you've got a problem, because when that case comes to trial, it is so messed up. No, the truth is not ever coming out. And that's kind of what happened. And that's kind of what happened here, isn't it? And that's kind of what's happened here, Bob.
Yeah, sorry. Chris came in to say something. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So isn't that kind of the police the police work kind of went afoul on that?
I guess. Well, when I guess when they went to collect everything, I don't think that it has anything to do with the police department.
Well, then why did the chief of police resign?
Because I think he knew, like, he had talked to the doctor, and I think he knew that was going to come out.
Yeah,
That why would he talk to the dude?
a prime suspect.
Yes.
Well, anyway, so tell everybody what the doctor now this is nutty. This is something that you would see in a messed up movie. What did the doctor do?
You're gonna have to. Oh, never mind. Chris is helping him. Okay, sorry. What?
Well, so what did the doctor do? Like what did he ask the do boy to do and all of that?
Oh well.
This is crazy.
I think that the time, I think they say that she was unalive maybe around like 3 or 4 a.m., maybe 4. 911 wasn't dispatched until 9:30. All the camera surveillance was destroyed. The weapon was disappeared.
Gone. Yeah.
And I think that was all.
They cleaned it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, other than the stuff on.
Well, he got these jacklegs, and I think he didn't he clean it up? That's why they got him with tampering with evidence.
Yeah. Him and Josh are both charged with tampering with evidence.
So him and his boy goes in, and they're like surf pro. Like it never even happened. So they go in and they scour the place.
They noticed that they had surveillance cameras, and he claimed that it hadn't been working for a couple weeks.
Yeah, bullshit. So you get this halo effect, a little delay, all of that leads into the destruction of evidence. And I think Dr. McKinney was just charged with tampering, right? Tampering with evidence. That's what Kyle got. It's like a 5-year. I think it's a minimum of 5 to 10 years. I think it's a big deal.
But him and the other boy that lives in the house, they were both charged with tampering with evidence. It was the son, MK, who was actually indicted with the unaliving.
Yeah. But you see that a lot. So you got all these people messed up in this big cabal. And apparently, see, I'm shocked that more people, particularly in this case, there must have been some kind of, party. Well, we'll call it a party where Amber was involved and she didn't know that she was the only lady going to be there. And it turned into a big old mess.
Well,
oh, really?
Josh's girlfriend, like the boy that's not related but lives in the house, his girlfriend was there.
So has she not said anything?
She's cooperating.
Okay, so she's given a statement.
Yeah, so I don't even know if they're still even dating. I would say
probably not. No, she's probably got some stuff.
He has been cooperative, and Roy. I think those 3 things attempted to try to throw him under the bus because he was really intoxicated. And they were trying to use, I guess, his own statement against him.
Well, interestingly, there's a lady on TikTok. I don't know how much y'all do TikToking, but there's that lady that got famous. Can I pet that dog? She's an Appalachian, and I think she maybe accentuates her Appalachian a little bit, but she does like Appalachian word of the day. But her little 10-second clip, hey, mister, can I pet that dog? It's a gazillion views. She worked in the dentist office. She was in that dentist office. Now, she wasn't part of that whole thing. I like her. I've tried to get her on my podcast. I can't get hold of her. I've tried and tried and tried. She probably thinks I'm a stalker, but she had to leave that dentist office because of the. Uh,
Yeah, like
he's not practicing anymore, is he?
no, he is.
Oh,
So
really?
he's on home confinement. He's able to go to work and go home.
Who wants to go to the dentist with the doctor's got a box on his ankle? I don't know how that works.
I think the Kentucky Dentistry, I think they've paused his license, so he's able to go and
He's working under somebody.
do business stuff, like as far as like paperwork and stuff like that.
So who's actually
his sister's a dentist too.
Oh, okay.
So I think that they have the clinic together.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure that's good for business.
But I think that they got him to, I don't know how they pointed fingers to him. I assume maybe some of the early DNA testing that came back showed that it was his on her body. And that's what part of the hearing testimony today from the crime lab person.
Because I didn't hear that. I would love to have heard that. So what happened? What was that?
Well, I only heard like 10 minutes before they took the recess. The defense, I thought, did a pretty good job as far as like saying, okay, you have someone that comes to your house. They're using your blanket. They're using your pillow. If you have used that pillow or that blanket, your DNA is on that thing.
You're going to get some cross-contamination.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of his, like that's what I heard from him. And I thought that was pretty.
That was the doctor's cross-examination, his doctor's lawyer.
I don't know which attorney it
probably
was. I don't know if it was. I don't know which one.
Well, there's a difference in skin DNA and fluid DNA. That's where they're going to get them, is fluid DNA.
I know it wasn't the attorney for Josh, because his attorney is a girl from the girl that you said that isn't that smart.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
She is from our area. She went to Eastridge.
I'm sorry.
In Prestonsburg, went to University of Pikeville, and then she graduated from Northern Kentucky.
I've seen her in a couple of hearings. She's just not impressive, and it's not because she's a lady. So y'all don't be fussing at me. She just not.
Hey, can I get my keys? But I did change a 20 out for 210s, but I shouldn't pay me.
But if someone did say she is on TV and I'm not,
yeah.
If you can call that TV.
That comment about how it got tied to the son actually being the unaliver, I'm not really sure. I just think it might have been like early DNA that came back, because it took a year and 2 months for the indictment to be handed down.
Yeah. Which is what happened in Kyle Deskin's case. It took so long. It was like 2 years for that indictment came out.
Yeah. And like, people just assume like there's a Facebook group if you all want to search.
So let's talk about that Facebook group. Anna is a charter member.
I'm a part of it. And I joined for the right reasons in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, it's a rag, man. I mean, I think the people that, and I don't know them, and I would love to have them on my podcast. So if any of y'all know any of them, tell them to holler at me. I'd love to have them on.
Her cousin's running for judge executive in Floyd County. The one that spearheaded everything, the one that's doing the civil suit.
I think they're hurting her case. I think they have hurt her case from the beginning, because they get on there. There you go, Kelly. I told you show up and them officers don't show up and they'll dismiss your case. Good job. You, what was I talking? What was we talking about, Bob? I forgot. Speeding ticket got my way. Oh, the Facebook group, you get a bunch of people in there and they're just yammering. It's a lot of, as Facebook is, and I like Facebook, but a lot of rumor and finger pointing, and people that don't know shit from apple butter are on there. And I think it has hurt this case, because part of the reason that we've had to move it and delay it is a lot of that group's fault, I think. Would you agree or no?
Yeah, well, No, a lot of it was because of the DNA, and like that's what the prosecution has said from the beginning. Like they don't. I mean, not that they don't have a case, but they want to make it an airtight case with all the DNA that's still left to test.
But don't people know there ain't no airtight cases? When you get a situation, if it's true that all those people were assholes and elbows, you ain't never gonna get the truth because you don't know.
But the Facebook group is called Justice for Amber, and you know, I think it started out in a good place, but there are thousands of members in here from all across
Oh yeah,
the country.
it has picked up a lot of and someone user, thank you user in YT tells me it's not beer. What is it actually?
It's a Diet Coke.
Oh, it's pretty. Oh, is that
It's
their
very
4th of
pretty.
July thing?
Yeah, I guess.
That's pretty.
It's pretty.
A user tells me on YT, I've noticed that all the high profile case people aren't calling you. Well, let me tell you what, I probably wouldn't work any of those high profile cases. I like it, but I'm doing something different, baby. So user, you are correct. They're not calling me, but I have worked big cases.
But,
Why? She says. Wrong. Why? I don't know. Or wonder why. Wonder why. Thank you, YouTube. You're the best.
But
Just thought I'd
it's
say
turned into a lot of people like, and you know, I get it. That those three who were indicted are, you know, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be talked bad about, but all they do is just drag their names through the mud.
Yeah, it's a gossip.
And it's classless.
Yeah.
Like,
you get on it and look at it. It's funny in a way, but then it's very sad.
Like the girl has already lost her life, and like I'm not it. You know, I want to see justice done, but you don't go about it by just trash talking. Wait until the verdict gets handed down.
And they don't even know what the and they don't even know the I am qualified. User, I am qualified. I could defend any one of these people. Their user. Yeah, I do a lot of defense work.
Like a lot of these people, well, honestly, the majority of the people in that group don't understand the judicial system.
They have no idea. No, and they
think it's just like an episode of Law and Order.
Well, every little thing is a conspiracy or a cabal. Now, I don't disagree that there was halo effect in the beginning. I do think Mr. Dr. McKinney got some preferential treatment in the beginning, and always in the beginning of a scene like that, where someone is not breathing, any type of delay is always bad for evidence. If you wait any at all, half hour, then you have screwed up that crime scene. If you get officers that come on the scene, and if their predisposition is to think that it's a different kind of case, like in Mr. Deskin's case, they automatically thought that it was an overdose case. They never looked as a murder case, and it totally screwed that case up from the moment he walked in that door. That officer, he was horrible. The officer in the case over in Letcher County, the investigating officer, was terrible. So maybe you just took your medicine, Elizabeth.
But that Facebook group, like,
Thank you for the compliments.
and you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, it shouldn't even be heard in Pike County because so many people know about it."
They moved it.
People know about it because of that Facebook group. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to find a jury who hasn't heard.
And that's a whole nother thing. And that's why you move a case. People always talk about, so if you look at why they moved the case, now they moved it from Prestonsburg to Pikeville, which ain't much of a move.
Right.
The people that got it moved, I guess that's a small victory. But they moved it 25 miles away. I mean, so it's not, you're looking with the same kind of people. There ain't a damn bit of difference in people from Prestonsburg, Pikeville, or Paintsville, or Letcher County. Ain't a damn bit of difference.
But then they create this Facebook group to get outreach and spotlight on her story, which I think is great. But then they're also complaining about it just being moved to Pikeville. And honestly, I think already has heard about this case.
Well, so yeah.
Moving forward, how do you find an impartial
Well,
jury?
so that's not the key isn't, and this is what a lot of people think, and I know you don't because you spent time in the courtroom with me, but the key isn't do you know about the case? The issue is, have you formed an opinion? Because you can't help but know about it and hear about it, but have you looked into it?
Right?
No. There are some people. There was a case on Court TV, and they had a witness. They had a jury.
The trial's set for January 11th right now.
Yeah. So they had a witness, and this witness was on the stand, and one of the lawyers did something very clever. Caught her in a box. She was trying to portray herself as just a standby witness. She was an older lady, and I can't remember. I think it might have been in that case where the lady ran over that cop there in Massachusetts. What was her name?
Karen Reed.
Yeah, I think it was in the Karen Reed case. So she testified as though she was just a bystander, just trying to help facilitate. Well, when they started drilling down, it wasn't that she just didn't know about the case, because that was one of the questions they asked her, which is a little different from a juror, but it roughly the same. When they drilled down on her, she was more than just someone that knew the people. She facilitated, she called, she organized text groups and all that. So when you're a juror, you can know about a case, but unless you have dug into it and researched, and if you're one of those people that follow the case, that's what makes you ineligible. Like if you're reading it, I'll guarantee you they're not picking anybody on that juror that's a member of that Facebook group.
Right.
Those,
so they're going to have to come through.
Those lawyers have already done that, because they already have a jury panel list. They probably already have that jury pool list. And
even for something that's now set for January?
Yes, they already
have a whole.
Well, I think those polls are like 6 months at a time. I mean, they don't update them. That's the same panel. You'll have 200 people on a panel. And so I'll guarantee you someone in those offices has gone through every name. That's probably the first thing they did and looked on that Facebook. There won't be nobody on that Facebook group that's, well, I would say from the prosecutor's side for sure. You're not putting anybody on there. I don't think there's going to be anybody that's a Facebook, because what that says as a juror, you don't just know it. It's okay to know about something and have heard about it, but have you spent time looking into it? Have you read? Because if you've read, that tells you what? You have an opinion, right? If you have studied, if you've researched. So that's the thing it's not, do you know these people? Because a lot of times, a lot of people try to get out of jury duty. Oh, I can't serve because I know that person. Well, hell, it's a small town. You know everybody. But do you really know them? Do you go out to dinner with them? Do you meet at ball games? Do you share business with them? Do you actually work together? That's the issue. So being a juror, it's not that you don't know about the case. It's have you formed an opinion about the case? And you would do that by joining Facebook groups, particularly if you've made a comment on that Facebook group. Ain't no damn way you're getting on that jury if you've made any kind of comment.
I've never made a comment. I'm a silent watcher.
Yeah. So I like seeing Kyle Deskins' case. I would have thought it would have been harder for them to find a jury in that case, but they apparently had no problem with it. They didn't have to run through a lot of jurors to pick a.
Do you know when?
And he was a political figure.
Do you know when the Steins trial is? Have they reset that?
I don't know. I have no idea when that Mickey Stein's case is. So this case is a little complex because you've got people that you've got a person that's accused that might not even be the person until we get the DNA, and they don't even know that. Did they say it's not back yet, or they're going to have time looking at it?
So not everything's back yet. They're waiting for like stuff underneath her fingernails, which why wasn't that tested?
That's
first,
usually is
you
the
know?
first thing to be tested.
And then I think there's been like some type of new software that I think that they're going to rerun some of the evidence. Like it's been created since they ran the DNA the first time. And like I think it's supposed to be like, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be more accurate.
Like some kind of AI generated software, probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I know that they're still waiting on the DNA under her fingernails to come back. And I think there was some red stuff on her clothes that they knew that didn't belong to her.
Okay.
So they haven't tested it
okay.
to see whose it was.
Okay. Ugh.
Oh, and also the son, I forgot to leave this out. He wasn't at the house when everyone woke up.
Oh, he was gone?
He was already back at Moorhead State University.
And that's and that don't look good. So, and I don't know if has he given a statement yet, or do we know?
From my understanding, I don't think any of them have been really cooperative.
Okay, and you shouldn't. You know, anytime you get in trouble, the worst thing you can do is talk. You know, if you look at Mr. Deskin's case, he gave 3 statements to the police, which is not good. Now he's a lawyer. He probably knew better, but at the same time, he probably thought he was slicker than everybody else. And I'm not saying I like Kyle. I like his family, but he gave 3 statements to a cop, which I was just so blown away that he actually did that. I'm shocked he gave 1, let alone 3. He gave 3 separate statements, I think. Wasn't that? Was there 2 or 3? I think.
Yeah, there were 3, I think.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just hoping for the day that he says something so that way it can be retried.
I think they dismiss it with prejudice.
No.
Was it without? Okay, but fat chance of them getting anything new and breaking that one open again. That's not going.
But if he says anything to someone, isn't that?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if the prosecutor will do that.
I don't know. I feel like the longer it goes.
This other case that we're talking about, allegedly, he was accused of basically wringing his wife's neck off. Was horrible.
But he called it in as an OD.
Yeah, he was the one that called in the case. He was a prosecutor. He knew the officers. So he primed, in my opinion, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. In my opinion, he primed all those officers before they even walked through the door. He told them that she had a history of substance use. And he told them what he found when he walked in a room. And there were substances scattered all about. And when they walked in, they saw that. They knew him. And they, oh, yep, sure. Look.
There was a.
Sorry, Melissa. I'm offending you, baby. You're the best. I'm not great. But I know more. I probably know more than you, Melissa. I'll guarantee it.
There was a big old spot in the carpet.
Yeah, they never.
They didn't test it, and it was cleaned like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, they didn't test any of that stuff. They didn't test any fluids on the carpet, on the bed. Oh, it's just, and if as a lawyer, if you're a half-assed lawyer like Melissa is in the chat, you would see, man, you've got to test all that stuff, and it didn't get done. It was horrible. And no, see, someone says corruption. No, see, corruption, everybody always says that. It was ineptitude. Corruption is something that you do on purpose and you get 3 or 4 people together. That wasn't corruption what happened in Mr. Deskin's case.
I think it was more like, okay, this is what I'm told it is.
Yeah, it was ineptitude. You've got,
we will gather the body.
yeah, we're just going to
and
go,
move
we're
on.
just going to make check marks. Is all that it
Yeah.
was. We're going to perfunctory because this is an OD. Oh, we see this all the time. We're just going to treat it like a typical garden variety OD. It wasn't corruption. It was ineptitude. Corruption probably closer in McKinney's case. Although, again, for corruption, you have to say to somebody, hey, this is what happened. Help me cover it up. I don't even think that happened in McKinney. Now, did he have a halo effect? Doctor calls up the chief of police and says,
he called the chief of police.
yeah, yeah, right. But that doesn't necessarily mean corruption. He was probably saying, man, what do I do? Here, this shit happened.
But still, like, why call him? Like, just go
well,
ahead and
right.
call him
So,
anyway.
but if you're going to say corruption, that's closer than the Deskins case. But most of the time, it ain't corruption. You see
Kyle
these
100% led that investigation. himself.
Yes, he predisposed them to thinking a certain way. And he had enough credibility being a prosecutor and working with those guys. He had built up some credibility. So they were willing to see. First off, they were probably lazy, right? That happens when people are lazy. If you have someone, and it just doesn't matter in this case or another case, but in your life, in your work life, if you have someone lazy around you, and you give them some easier way to do something that gets away some of the work that's necessary to do a job, they're going to take the easy way if they're lazy. That police officer was lazy. He looked at that and he thought, oh, okay, I know Kyle, this looks like that. Oh, I see all these substances here. So it makes sense, In the McKinney case is a little different because he did call the chief of police for a little bit of work, for a little bit of guidance, which that looks more like corruption, but most of the time it ain't corruption. It's just ineptitude. And in that case with the judge and the sheriff, that was ineptitude. I don't know that it rises to the level of corruption, but you see it all the time. People with babies and divorce. Well, Anna sees it all the time. That this judge is corrupt, the prosecutor's corrupt, that the social workers are all in bed with the judges. That's baloney. Most of the time, it's just people not willing to do their job. Most of the time, it's people that's poorly trained. It's not corruption. It's ineptitude. But these cases are certainly big. So is there anything else that we can tell everybody about these cases, about this case? Now, the next fight's going to be getting these guys off of their restrictions. You notice the lawyer mentioned that.
Yeah.
And the prosecutor probably is not going to allow them to be off home confinement. I think they're still on electronic home confinement, right?
Yeah. They're all three on it. And I'm pretty sure all three in the same house. I'm not saying otherwise.
So I don't think the prosecutor is going to let them off that. But that's going to be the next fight.
The son just got out of jail a couple months ago and got put on incarceration.
Well, now we know that son ain't getting off of it. But now the daddy and the do boy probably, the argument is, they've served their time. And if I'm a judge, I'm saying, well, they've been on it this long. They're not being prejudiced by being on a few more months. And in fact, I would argue you're the one that's causing the delay. It ain't me. Even though they're blaming it on the crime lab, that's baloney. I think.
But see, 2 of the 3 defendants are okay with it being postponed.
Yeah. Which one is it, Michael? The son?
The doctor and the do boy are okay with it being postponed. The son wants his speedy trial.
Yeah. Which, if you're in the son's position, I'd be pushing for trial, because when you push for trial, you catch the prosecutor not prepared. And I'm just going to tell you, a lot of prosecutors, if you look at a lot of these high profile cases in the recent past, just in our government, when these prosecutors prosecute a case, they're not ready. That P. Diddy case was a poorly prosecuted case. And as an example, they didn't do what they should have done. I think they overcharged. Most prosecutors overcharge and they can't deliver the goods. And a juror will hold them to task on that.
Look at this bird. Oh my gosh, it just flew away. I've never seen a blue jay in person.
You've never seen a blue jay?
Not in person. Like that was.
Oh, they're mean. Blue jays are
Oh, well, it was really pretty.
They're mean as hell. Blue jays are. They're mean. Someone told me.
At least I think it was a blue jay.
Someone told me they will get together and attack like a dog or something. They will gang up on somebody. Little gangsters, man.
But it was so pretty.
So, guys, any other questions? Anything? Yeah, they're beautiful. I love them.
Yeah, like the tail was gorgeous. I sent you over a draft of an abstract and then redid the budget. I sent them both over to you.
Oh, did you look at it? The budget?
I mean, vaguely. That's what I was doing when we were talking in there. But I sent them back to you.
So you did it with the donation of the. So where did you put that money for the indirect cost?
It went toward rent, and then some went back into travel. I didn't add another person.
Okay, good.
I don't think we need to.
Someone in the chat said that they went to court on a ticket and got it dismissed. Good job. If they didn't say about court costs, I would call the clerk's office because almost always there's court costs.
Just for the time.
Yeah, you've got some kind of court cost. They should have mentioned it, but
you got to pay for the clerk.
Yeah, that's right. You got to pay, or as everybody says, it's a money scam. Everybody always says that too. So, well, thanks, Anna, for that.
You're welcome. Someone's here to buy plants.
All right, baby. I love you.
Love you.
Thank you, guys. Tell Anna. Bye. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
This is Eugene. Hello. Nope. Ain't no holler back, guys. Someone called me. I don't know who it was. But guys, I'm going to leave my YT channel. Guys, if you're looking in on me on YT and FB, thank you very much. Particularly you, user. You were particularly nice to me today. Asked me why I wasn't on TV and everything. So you've been good for me today. I appreciate you. She shows up and really just does a good job. So guys, if life and law collides in your world and you don't know what to do, I am staying on my TT channel. But if you if life and law collides in your world and you don't know what to do, you can always book a call. I had a little bit of malfunction over here, guys. Thank you very much for showing up on the YT and the TT. I will see you.